Good afternoon, BNL class of 2027. Give yourself a round of applause. Man, it's great to see you all, and welcome to BNL. We are excited to welcome you here, and today we want to just introduce high school to you. And so as the incoming class of freshmen, we want to introduce you to the life in high school and BNL specifically. Now, parents and grown-ups, we too welcome you to Bedford North Lawrence High School. With every new school year, and added that we're beginning high school this year and stepping into a building for the very first time, you may be experiencing some uncertainties. And you may have some questions. And you may be scared. And all of those things are completely normal for you freshmen sitting out here. Okay, now of you freshmen, who are you the oldest in your family? So you are the first family member of your crew to come to high school? Okay, so we got a few of you. What about who has had an older sibling now? Raise your hand to come through high school. All right, so we got some of you. Okay, now who is the baby of the family and is the last kid? There's a few. I'm surprised your parents even brought you. I'm glad you're here, though. Okay, but regardless of where you are or who you are or where you're coming from, we all come together as the class of 2027. And as we start this journey together, our goal today is to reassure you and to get you excited about high school and to get you excited about BNL. Now, today is that special day because today is your first day of many high school memories to come. I wish you could just take a snapshot, and some of you will probably take a selfie at some point today, and mark it, because you will hear over and over and over, both today through our Fresh Start event and as you come into high school, about how fast the next 4 years go. People will be talking to you, you'll be sick of hearing it, I know, but there's some truth to it. But not only how fast it goes, but how quick you change. Because in May of 2027, we will gather here right before commencement graduation. And it's hard to think about. And that at that point, I'll ask you to take another snapshot, and so you can measure the changes. You know, it's not also just about how you look in that snapshot, but how you feel and who you think you are. Because high school is about preparation for this graduation, but it's also about all the other memories that will be created in these next 4 years. But it's also about building the confidence of yourself to be your best version of who you are. And that's what we want to be known about here at BNL is, yes, creating those academic experiences, but also creating those character developing experience as well. Now, here in our welcome session, our goal today is to introduce you to the high school. Who is staying for our Fresh Start event? By show of hands, our students. Okay, so we got some of you. Who's unable to stay for the event and just here for the session? Okay, we got a few of you too. So I'm going to kind of talk to you in some different groups as we move through the beginning of this. But we want to just welcome you here. We want to open up our campus for you to explore. And so during the event, we will do all of those things. If you're unable to stay, you're still welcome to, explore campus and go through the routines that we have to have. We want to immerse you into the hallways, immerse you into the high school BNL culture, and get you kind of interacting with our team. So we hope today's session and our Fresh Start event do that. Now, students, as you enter the halls of BNL for the high school career, we want to help welcome you and transition you to high school. Our journey together is about to start and will be unique to each of you. The first days of freshman year will go fast. We all know summer did. And we will help you over the next few years as we do that. Now, as you get more comfortable, all right, join a friend, go together, ask questions. You will be nervous. You will be a little bit excited. You will be a little bit scared, and all of those things are okay. And as we go through high school, just do high school. Think. study, challenge yourself, be social, do all those things. And we'll talk more about that today. Now, parents, this is tough, okay? I know this is many a hard day. And if I were to ask you if you're a parent of the first-time high schooler or if your baby's coming through, those emotions change. But nonetheless, today is still a difficult day. And so we don't want you to just leave on us and drop your kiddos after the door, but rather we want you to be participants as well as we introduce you to high school. And so with that, our building is open all week. Okay, so you're welcome to come back and bring your kiddo back and kind of explore campus and do all of those things as well. And so those staying for the Fresh Start event, of course, we'll get some of that done. But, of course, you guys are welcome back anytime. Now, allow me to introduce you to our administrative team. And so my name is Mr. Canada, and I would like to introduce you to Mr. McNabb and Miss Redmond, who are over at the Career Center. And so today the Career Center will be open and you guys can go explore over there. And also we have a few of our counseling team here. That's Miss Walton, Miss Strasser, and Miss Hackney. They're sit and wave. Say hello, guys. Hello, thank you. Yeah, so we're in this together. Now, you may notice my name's the only one up there for administration, but the doors are opening, okay? And we have a team of staff that's going to help you and help our teachers and help all of our students as we get started. And so we also, if you want to jot these names down, are Mr. Burton and Miss Isom. So Greg Burton and Vicki Isom will be in our attendance office. And so I know all of you that show up here today will also be the ones to send in your parent notes. So you can address them either by email or there as well. Now, as we think today, and before we break up, during Fresh Start, we will do a series of events, review schedules, ask questions, take a tour of the campus, pick up your books and your Chromebook, get your ID picture taken. If you're unable to stay for that event, you can do all of those same things as well. So if you are not a student staying for the event, you can stop by counseling and pick up a schedule today. You and your parents can go down to the bookstore to take care of your Chromebook information and your textbooks information, and then you guys can begin kind of exploring campus as well, both in our building and over at the Career Center, okay? And again, like I said, we will be open all week. Now, before we begin high school, we must look at the goal. And we know that goal is to graduate. Now, graduation is just not about the next 4 years, but rather is a culmination of all of those days in elementary school, all of those days in middle school, and then, of course, with all of those days coming forward. And now, as a BNL graduate, what does that even mean? That maybe, yes, you pass a class and you get the credits and you get your diploma at the end, but we also want you to be much more than that. And it talks about our ideas of you becoming critical thinkers and our ideas of you becoming good characters and our idea of you all becoming good citizens and good people and productive and those kind of things. And so we have to think about that is where we want you to be. And so when we take a look here, right, we think about BNL success. So how do we become a successful BNL graduate, right? One of those things is excellent attendance. Just show up, right? Just be here. Do school, be present, actually do the work, right? That sounds terrible. But that's the first thing, is to do those things, is to be here, to be present, to complete your work, to study, to prepare, and to get organized, okay? Be organized. That helps you accomplish those tasks. Now, many of you may be wondering, what are my school supply lists for this year? And here at the high school, we don't produce a supply list. What we encourage students to do is to create their own system of organization for themselves. So whatever that is best for you. Maybe that is one of those great big old binders, or maybe that is just a couple folders in a notebook. So whatever helps you keep some organization. This year, our students will receive an agenda book. So it will have some calendars and some spaces for notes. And then also our teachers will kind of go through all the specific needed items. That's going to range differently if you're in a math class versus a science class or an art department. Okay, so they'll kind of go through those things. And finally, kiddos, don't hesitate to ask questions. Okay, now be careful maybe who you ask. Because if you're roaming the halls and you ask that senior where a classroom is, we do not have a fourth floor. Okay, it's just not true. All right, and we don't have a fifth stairwell. That's not true either. Okay, and I'll explain all those things in a moment. But make sure it's someone you trust. But definitely ask questions. Okay, and as we introduce BNL, you will quickly find out that it's an easy place to navigate. Now, parents, you also play a huge role in that success. And so it's important for you to stay connected with your kiddo. We have different outlets. Of course, many of you are going to be familiar with Power School, or if you're connected already on Google Classroom, you kind of get those weekly updates. But also, don't hesitate to email your students' teachers. Okay, stay in communication with them. Also, you can check out our social media sites as we try to share with the community and our students some of the things that are happening, and also our school website as well. Those are good ways to do that. And parents, don't overlook the power of dinner and sitting at the dinner table and asking the kiddos, how did that day went? And I know, sounds old-fashioned, and we sit there and we say, how was your day? Okay. That's even if you get a response, right? And I'll ask my kiddos, what'd you learn today? Did you learn anything? Nope. You're right? You know what I mean, parents, right? You with me? But don't overlook that, okay? Because those things are important. We also try to share all of the information with our kiddos. So we come back and dare we ask if they have homework, right, moms and dads? I mean, why even ask? I mean, just the answer is yes. There's always something for them to do. Now, getting through that, let's talk about BNL. Now, our school day, okay, begins at 7:58, if you will. So that's when the first bell sounds and the doors open to BNL. And then the first class will begin at 8:08. So first period will begin at 8:08 in the morning. And so our building does open at 7:30. So parents, you can drop them off early if that's needed. We will ask students to remain in either the cafeteria or the gym lobby until the building opens at 7:58. But they're able to arrive early. Some of them can sleep. Some of them can have breakfast. Some of them may do some homework. And then our day will get started at 7:58. Okay. Now, when we think about our day at BNL and in the school day, we also want to think about where we begin our day. So in just a bit, you may get your schedule, right? And we have to think about it. And so at BNL, we have 3 zones. And so here's kind of a picture of our building. And so through gate 1, which is where the welcome center is, that's gate 1. That is our student driver zone. We want parents away from our student driver zone. You know what I mean? And so parents, you guys will be in our gate 3 zone. So that's the first gate there by the football field that kind of winds up around that. Okay, so we have our student driver zone, and then we also have our bus rider zone, and then we also have our car rider zone. And so a car rider, when I refer to a car rider, that is someone whose parent's going to be dropping them off at BNL, okay? And how this works as a car rider is you follow the red arrow. So you'll start at gate 3, and then you will loop north of the football field but south of the gym, and you will drop off at entry 16, okay? Doors open at 7:30. They will hang there until the bell rings at 7:58. Parents, you will proceed, go around the baseball diamond, and then exit the building back onto Miami Drive. You can then turn left on Miami Drive, and that'll take you right back to Stars Boulevard. Okay, so that's kind of the system of that. Now, you students then will enter the building at entry 16, which is the gym area, and you will come up and come through the pack. And so as you enter the academic building, that'll be at stairwell 4, all right, if you're a car rider and someone's dropping you off. Now, if you're a bus rider, you're going to be dropped off on the other side of the building at entry 5 or entry 6. And so you will be dropped off in the circle out front by the cafeteria. Entry 6 is right next to the cafeteria. Entry 5 is up the stairs that comes in on floor 2. Okay, so as you kind of go through the building, you can think about that. And if you are a student rider, meaning you drive, well, hopefully none of you are driving yet. Goodness. But if you're riding with a student driver, you guys will be in the parking lot. You guys will enter in through the cafeteria. Okay, so you guys will come in through the cafeteria doors. And that's on the first floor. So as you build your schedule and as you walk your schedule, I would kind of start in that area so you kind of get a feel for the building as well. Now, we also want to take a look at when we read our schedule. BNL is on a trimester plan, and so that is 3 trimesters that are 12 weeks long. So this is different than the 9 week semester model. All right, so when you read your schedule, there'll be 3 schedules all on one page. That's trimester 1, trimester 2, trimester 3. Those are 12-week classes, okay? Also, when we take a look, I want to share with you just a couple of things that are important to look at. So you see trimester 1, period 1, biology, that's your class, and then you have your teacher's name, and then you will have a room number. Okay, now that room number will help you locate the building here, okay, or the classroom within the building. So I'll explain a little bit about that as well. So BNL really is a big square. 3 floors, 4 stairwells. You guys know what square looks like, right, students? You with me? Okay, I'm not getting any feedback over here. All right, so square. And you can start with stairwell 1, stairwell 2, stairwell 3, stairwell 4. It just goes in that way. Now, the math wing is off stairwell 3. All right, so we do have one math wing. And then, of course, we have the gym wing. All right, so that's just a wing. Like if you're in PE or strength training, that's a wing. Or if you have a music class, that's a wing. All right, both the gym wing and the music wing are off stairwell 4. Okay, so as you kind of map around, you just think about it being a big square. And so those room numbers are strategically placed based on that. So the first digit of your room number is going to be your floor. So in our case, we have room number 3270. What floor is that going to be on, guys? Woo, good job, 3rd floor. Now the second number is going to be associated with which stairwell it's closest to. All right, so like in this case, 32 is going to be closest to which stairwell? 1, 2, 3, or 4? 2. Good job, guys. And so therefore, you will kind of go to that central area of there. Now, there are some that are going to trip you up. Like this one here, look at period 4. That's got a V, V115. That means it's a Career Center class. Okay, so that's going to be over in the Career Center, which is on our campus, just out the first entry. And then their room numbers will start with a V. Vocational Center is the reason behind that, okay? Now, also, you might see on here a room number, like down there in 3rd trimester, period 3, it's 3040 is a room. So a 0 is kind of like a centrally located room, kind of out in the middle of that floor. You guys will figure that out, all right? No worries. Plus, there's a bunch of people in who are blue shirts that'll help you out. And what I always tell kiddos is if you're lost, just start screaming and somebody's going to help you. You know what I mean? Like just start yelling and some adult will come and find you. It's not that bad, all right? And we don't fit in the lockers, okay? So you're good. You're good on that. Now, as you look at your schedule today, the counselors will review it. They will go through all the details. They will talk about schedule changes. And if you looked at the Power School Parent Portal, I'm sorry, it is jacked up. There's all kinds of things going on there. So we will get you that printed schedule, and every will be ready. Now, on that schedule, you also saw, I'm sorry, I overskipped that, the advisory. Okay, so advisory we'll talk about here briefly in just a moment. But that is a homeroom that you will be assigned to, and you will have your same advisory teacher for 4 years. Okay, so as a freshman, you will begin to know them, and then you'll have them both your sophomore, junior, and then finally even your senior year as well. Now, we do a whole advisory program that you will only go to this advisory on your schedule 1 day a week, and then you will be in other rooms. I'll give you a little information on that now, and then we will teach you all of that the first week of school, okay? So we talked about those appointments. If you're missing a class, like you don't have a period 3, they're going to have to get you a period 3. I wish you didn't have to go to class, but you got to go to class. And so they'll get that set up for you as well. Lockers. Now, we do have lockers, all right, and everyone's assigned to a locker. And at the top of your schedule, you'll have your locker. All freshman lockers are going to be on the first floor, okay? And so you will be able to search for your locker. It's about like finding an Easter egg down there. You just go and you look and you hunt, and the numbers mostly are in order, but then you get nervous because you can't find it and you get turned around, but so just keep looking. And we got people there to help you today as well. And it's a right, left, right dial, okay? So as we think about it, it's a right, left, right dial. And so we kind of break it down because people get nervous and they stand there, and we want you to use your locker, okay? Now, you may not have a lot of gear, but it's important, like to be able to put some of your things in your locker. So go find it, try it out. What I always tell students is start at 0. All right, so when you walk up, turn right, just start at 0. It's a nice little place to begin. And then you're going to turn right. So as you're turning right on a dial, the numbers are going backwards. 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s. Now, don't get in a big hurry. It's not a race. Okay, so you're just dialing backwards. And then you're going to land on your first digit. Boom. Not kind of close, just right on it. All right, got to be right on it. Get right on there. All right, so get on that digit. And then you're going to turn the dial left. So now the numbers are getting bigger, 10s, 20s, 30s. The first time you pass it, skip it and land on it the second time. All right, so you're going to skip it the first time and then land on it the second time. Now, you know how you remember that? Second number, second time. Okay, so you got that. All right, start at 0, go backwards, land on it. Go left, numbers get bigger. Skip it once, land on it the second time, and then directly back the other direction to your last number, all right? So like in that example, you hit 12, skip 36 the first time, go back to it, land on it the second time, and then directly back to 20, okay? We have a team of people here to help as well. Now, as we talked about earlier, that success as a student is to have excellent attendance. Now, here at the high school, each student receives 4 parent notes per trimester. Okay, so you get 4 parental excused absences per trimester. And so that's where you fill out the note or send in the email or make the phone call to the school to say, hey, so-and-so's not feeling well. We're going to keep them home today. That'll be an excused absence, and you get 4 of those each trimester, okay? Of course, an excused absence would include a doctor's note as well of all those things, okay? It's important for us to communicate in regards to those things. We do genuinely care about our students, and we genuinely want to know what's going on. And when a student misses a few days in a row, we begin to get worried, okay? So thank you for communicating those things with us. Now, when we do not receive a notification, that gets marked as an unexcused absence, okay? And then that goes into a category that becomes a bit more concerning if those accumulate, all right? And so we work on those in the attendance office to communicate because you're missing work, you're missing time. There's academic penalties when it comes to that. There's also there's disciplinary action when we're missing school that's unexcused, and those kind of things. And so make sure if you're missing, we know those things come up, just let us know. And now students, the attendance office is located on floor 2, all right, between stairwells 1 and stairwell 4. Okay, so you'll find the office suite there. We have the counseling office and the attendance office there together as well. So as you're looking around, that's where you'll bring your notes in. I wish you could give it to a teacher and say, could you turn that into the office? But they don't. We're big boys and big girls here, and so we will turn those notes in as well. So make sure you know that. Also, when we think about attendance, we think about tardies. You guys know what tardy is, right? When you're late to class. Who's worried about a tardy here at the high school? Nobody? Few of us? Good. I know I'm worried, right? And so there's really two different types of tardies. And so we have a tardy to class. And so our process here at the high school is the first one's on us, right? We give you a warning. The second one, we're even so gracious you get a warning. But then when you accumulate your third tardy, all right, you go into the detention pool, all right? And then those processes goes. It's important to go to class, and it's important to be on time, all right? And so as we think about those things, we of course, are gracious at the beginning of the year as we're all learning it in the beginning of the trimester. But as we learn it, right, we have to remind ourselves, I got to get to class on time. We even are so nice that we have 5-minute passing periods. At the 4-minute, you get a warning chime. Ding, 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 ding. It's like, time to hurry up. Got to go. And then that's when you go to class. Now, listen, guys, don't be hanging out in the hallway with your friends, just chatting it up. Right? Don't be loitering in the bathroom, okay? Don't be out looking for a prom date. Just go to class. And when you hear the chime, go to class, okay? So that's important. Now, I know you may have a class over here and you got a class over there, or you got to go to the Career Center. I promise you there's enough time to get there, okay? And we will work through all of that. And so really, tardies just become that you don't care to go to class, and then that becomes more of the issue, all right? So make sure that. And again, remember, ask. Ask questions, but be careful who you ask, okay? When you're late to school, okay, so that's probably mom and dad's fault, right, guys? You just sign into the attendance office, okay? And so you'll sign in, we'll get you an excuse slip, and then you'll head on to class from there. And so when we think about tardies and we think about hallway etiquette, we also have to be mindful, okay? Don't be running in the hallways, guys. Right? There's no need to run. There's certainly no need to be excessively loud unless you're lost. Then I told you could scream. But until you're lost, there's no screaming, okay? You don't have to jump up and touch the banister. You got it. You did it. You did it. You got it once. You don't have to do it you guys know what I'm talking about, right? The door frames. There's some exposed piping here. It's kind of cool. To jump up and touch, but we don't need to. You can do it. I promise you can do it, okay? So don't do those things, right? We've got to do that. Now, also make sure that as you are exploring and going over to the Career Center, that you check out those processes as well. Now, as we move into the school bit, we've got to talk about student expectations, okay? And as we welcome you here to high school, like I said, you'll get an agenda that has a school handbook in it. And then we also have it digitally loaded on our student Chromebooks, and it's accessible on the website as well. And our goal for you is to create a supportive and positive learning environment. You guys have been in school for a long time now. And so when we sum up these expectations or we sum up these rules, it really is about just being kind. If we're just kind and we're respectful, all the other things will take care of themselves. And I can't challenge you enough to respect yourself with that. Respect others, respect your teachers and your classmates, and respect the learning environment. Okay, when we're mindful about being respectful to those things, all this other stuff that we have to talk about doesn't matter, because all those things will be taken care of, because you are an important part of BNL and you are a part of the learning community. Okay, and so that's where we want you to be here. Be prepared. Bring your Chromebooks. Make sure they're charged. Okay, can you do that? And just be responsible. Just be productive here. So we get into these things, and everybody wants to know the rules. Cell phones. Oh, yes, here we go. Students, you're allowed to have cell phones on campus, okay? But teachers will share with you their expectations of those usage in class, okay? So every teacher may vary a bit, but they will determine what is okay and what isn't okay in their classroom. You got that? All right. Now, parents, don't be texting your kids during the day. Come on. That gets them in trouble. Every kid that gets busted with a cell phone that comes down to my office, guess what? I was talking to my mom. Every time. I didn't talk to my mom in high school. Like, we just, they're parents. Like, they were weird, they're parents. But these kids, my God, you guys have the closest connection. I've never seen it before. But cell phones are okay, but we have to be mindful because they are a distraction. And so we have to be mindful, and our teachers will share with you those things. Now, you guys seen those white tumors on kids' ears? Yeah, we all got them. You can wear one earbud in the hallway only. No classroom earbuds, all right? Because you'll be listening to, I'm sure, some audiobook. You'll be listening to some audiobook when your teacher's trying to teach, right? But no earbuds in the classrooms. You are permitted to have an earbud in the hallways, okay? The other thing that always comes up is food and drink. These kids are hungry, I know they are. But we don't permit food and drink, So when you swing by Hardee's, shove it down before you get to school, enjoy it. We don't need to see your Starbucks cup, guys, or your energy drink. These kids, they're tired all the time, but yet they'll be coming in with their monsters, okay? We don't need to see those things. Now, students, you are allowed to have a water bottle, okay? So you can carry a water bottle with you or a water container or whatnot, so you can have that. We certainly encourage that, actually. But, make sure that you finish your breakfast before you get here and your drinks and all those things, okay? We already talked a little bit about the hallways. Don't run. Don't be loud. Don't be just hanging out. Do those things. Now, the other thing that you will notice as you tour around is we do have an elevator. However, you can't use it, okay? That's a no-no. That is for our students who need it in the moment, okay, whether it be an injury or disability, it is there. And that'll be located at Stairwell 3 if you need it. And so, and it's really slow, so it's no use anyway. So just stay away from that, okay? As we think about the cafeteria, that's always an area like that is a social zone for our students, but also an extremely nervous place for our students because there's 500 kids in there at a time. I know, and we serve pizza at all of them and everything else in the world. That's really good. And so we find our zones, we find our seats, we find our friends, and just kind of hang out there for the trimester, okay? We don't do a bunch of moving around. Once you go through the process, and we'll explain that more on the first day, students, but as you come in, right, to the cafeteria, it's a huge room, and go check it out today. You'll find your seat, and then it's important to go up then and get your food, okay? And there's similar to that you had at the middle school with the different options, okay? We'll have those things plus more here at the high school. You'll grab and make for sure you get a fruit and a milk. Check out, and then you can go back and, do your thing. All right, and so that's kind of there. Certainly use your cell phones at the lunch, hang out with your friends. We do have sign-outs for the restrooms in there as well. The one thing we ask, though, is just that we're mindful. Okay, in classrooms, be students. Okay, be students. Be respectful to each other. Challenge yourself academically. Do the work, all right? Be kind to the teacher. Those are important things that we do. Obviously, if you're in trouble in the classroom, the teacher will deal with that. We'll deal with that from the office standpoint as well. One of the things that we also should not have to mention, but something that we have to mention, right, is when it comes down to substances. And those are things that we deal with. And we have to be mindful that we are a tobacco and drug-free campus, okay? And there are severe penalties for those things happen, okay? So be mindful of those things. Parents, we know that those things exist, and we know that we have to protect our kiddos of those things, and our kiddos are responsible for protecting themselves and one another. Okay, so you'll see Officer Turpin back there and Officer Gilbert. They may be in the lobby now, and so we work together. You guys remember Turp from the middle school, right? Oh, yeah. He's like a character from a cartoon show. So he's there. He'll be around this week. Officer Gilbert's here, and we'll kind of go from there. Dress code, oh, yes. It does exist. Be educationally appropriate. Be mindful Okay, if you got to ask, is it dress code? Guess what? Probably not good enough for dress code. You know those things, right? So think about graphics and language and designs and all of those things as you guys are back to school clothes, right? Getting new shoes, new drip. That's what we're talking about. Pick up some ice. Everybody wants that stuff. Okay, now we talked a little bit about advisory, okay? And so advisory is our creation of a smaller learning environment within our school day. And so during advisory, we will have white days, blue days, and red days, okay? And I know this is about clear as mud, but I promise we will teach you as the school year begins. So white days will be Mondays and will be with your assigned homeroom teacher that's on your schedule. We then have a plus time system in which students select where they go for advisory on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, the blue days, which are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, are academic days. So that may be like academic enrichment, a hands-on activity, maybe an author of a book that you've studied in literature is here. Maybe there's a guest speaker and you sign up for it. Or it may be that you're missing work and your teacher assigned you there. Those will be there. You will check your plus time, and then you'll know where to go. All right, we work through all of that. And then Fridays, essentially like a character development, social day. It's a lot of fun activities. And so you sign up for clubs. So we do kind of a club rotation. We have a lot of opportunities. From all your traditional school clubs like Student Council, Beta Club, National Honor Society, those things. Our Renaissance program here at the high school, we would love for you to get involved into. But then we also have foodie clubs or Taylor Swift appreciation clubs and, all these other, learn how to play the guitar club. There's all kinds of things that your students can sign up for and get engaged in. And the idea is just to get them involved and engaged to different things like that, okay? And we'll talk about advisory those first few weeks, and our teacher will explain it to you. One of the other programs that a few of you are familiar with, or many of you will become more familiar with, is our Stellar Scholars program, or our BNL Early College. And so you can take dual credit classes as any BNL student here, but then we also have a process where you can apply to become a Stellar Scholar. And you get a few more resources and support. So we have a team of people that work specifically with those students to track their dual credit classes. There's a study lab that you get access to and a variety of other things. Okay, so some of you heard that when they pitched at 8th grade. You will hear more about that here at high school. Parents, I just wanted to share that with you because those things start today. Some of your kiddos will be in dual credit to begin with. A lot of our students are in a biology or a world history dual credit as a freshman. And so we have an expansive number of offerings here at the high school, from our academic offerings with dual credit, but also students explore because we have an amazing art department, right? We have an amazing music program with many offerings of those things. We have a lot of different options in our world language department and all those experiences that you can get. And especially, we want you to explore our Career Center, okay? It's actually one of the best things that's happening here on our campus. And it's all about exposing students to, that real-life application process of opportunities to work with your hands, to work in the community, to do a variety of things. And so a lot of you students will have a Career Center class, Prep CC. That kind of is overhoused in there. And so a lot of you will be in that building. I know a lot of you have already signed up for a lot of classes as well. And so that's exciting to go from there. Now, I am sure you're tired of hearing me because I know I'm tired of hearing me. But we want to welcome you to BNL, and as we round out and close up, we've got a few minutes before we start our freshman event, so you guys can just hang out here, parents hang out here, and then at 2 o'clock you can leave them, or if you guys need to walk out and use the restroom and just stretch the legs, you're welcome to do that as well. Families that are unable to stay, or students unable to stay for the freshman event, you guys can go to counseling and pick up your schedule. Okay. Without further ado, welcome to BNL. Give yourself a round of applause.